Leny Yoro's decision to join Manchester United is about to be tested. The Frenchman opted to sign for Man United this summer for a fee of around $68 million, £52m and €62m. Yoro had drawn interest from across Europe, with both Liverpool and Real Madrid also said to be keen on signing the teenage defender from Lille. But Yoro chose to move to Old Trafford, in part because they set out a clear plan for the 18-year-old, which presumably means plenty of first-team minutes, despite his age. Speaking to Manchester United's official website following his move, Yoro said, "Since my first conversations with the club, they set out a clear plan for how I can develop in Manchester as part of this exciting project and showed a lot of care for me and my family. I know about the history of young players at Manchester United and feel it can be the perfect place to reach my potential and achieve my ambitions, together with my new teammates. I cannot wait to get started." However, that decision is now set to be tested. The Man United defender hobbled off injured in their pre-season game against Arsenal in the early hours of Sunday morning, with Yoro appearing to experience discomfort in his ankle. Of course, it is too short to know about their injuries, and we have to wait over 24 hours, then we will hopefully know more, Erik ten Hag said after the game. "We were careful especially with Leny Yoro, as he only did 50% of the training sessions. He has to come up, but let's be positive and see what comes out. If the injury to Yoro sees him sidelined for an extended period, then it could mean someone leapfrogs the defender in the pecking order at Old Trafford." Lisandro Martinez and Harry Maguire, who have only just returned from injury themselves, will likely be the pair ten Hag turns to. And if they perform during pre-season and start the Premier League season strongly, then it could see Yoro spend some time on the bench. Of course, this is all a moot point if Yoro's injury turns out to be nothing to fear. But United paid big money for the Frenchman and were likely expecting him to be first choice alongside one of Martinez, Maguire, or another defender. Manchester United is a massive club, that's just a fact. Yes, by their own high standards, it's not been great lately. They are the current FA Cup champions and they won the League Cup in the previous season, but the Red Devils haven't won the Premier League in 11 years. Many young footballers, especially those from countries with comparatively weak domestic leagues, grow up dreaming of playing for a foreign club. Often, that club is Real Madrid or Barcelona, but plenty of young ballers still dream of playing for Manchester United. Not all dreams are happy, though. We're taking a look at 5 ballers who earned a life-changing move to Old Trafford, but quickly ended up in footballing purgatory. Donny van de Beek. The young Dutchman was an integral part of Ajax's generational team that performed so brilliantly in the Champions League under Erik ten Hag. Inevitably, Ajax's squad was scavenged and picked apart by wealthy clubs, and Frenkie de Jong's midfield partner eventually found himself signing for the mighty Manchester United. It did not go well. In his first season in England, Van der Beek played 19 league games, only half of the available matches, and that's as good as it got for him in the Prem. Loans at Everton and Eintracht Frankfurt followed, where he played even less regularly than did for Man United. Donny van de Beek has now finally secured a way out of Manchester, signing permanently for La Liga upstarts and Manchester City-affiliated Girona. Wilfried Zaha. At 20 years old, Wilf Zaha was one of the brightest talents in the Premier League. An exciting player to watch, with pace, power, end product, and sleeves full of tricks. Alex Ferguson himself spoke with the young winger in order to persuade him to pledge his allegiance to Man United. Zaha is a Croydon boy, so we're not going to pretend he grew up dreaming of playing in Devil Red, but a massive transfer like that for a 20-year-old young baller is a dream regardless of your background, unless you're a Liverpool or a City fan. By the time Zaha got to Manchester, Fergie was gone, and David Moyes did not fancy him at all. Rumours abound as to the nature of the apparent fallout between the two, but whatever happened, Wilf left Man United after only 3 competitive games, and never looked back. Memphis Depay. After very much bursting onto the scene at PSV Eindhoven, Depay had clubs across Europe talking. He was a wanted man, with both PSG and Liverpool sniffing him out. According to reports, then Man United manager Louis van Gaal thought he probably needed another season in the Netherlands to develop, but the interest from other clubs forced him to snap his compatriot up in 2015. Depay played regularly in his first season, all across the front line, but he struggled for end product. The following season saw the Dutchman make just 4 appearances, all as a substitute, and he was subsequently sold to Lyon in the January transfer window. Happily, Depay did manage to turn his career around and get back on track, eventually earning moves to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, and leading the line for his country at Euro 2024. Mark Bosnich. The only player Alex Ferguson signed twice. Which is weird, because the Scot referred to Bosnich as a terrible professional in his autobiography. Bosnich joined Man United's youth setup from his native Australia, and made a handful of top-division appearances in the 1990-91 season. The Aussie then went back to Sydney for a year, and then spent 7 seasons at Aston Villa before Fergie brought him back on a free transfer to replace Peter Schmeichel. Ginormous gloves to fill. It lasted for about 2/3 of a season. Bosnich spent a night in jail and spent a year or so looking a little bit like Brendan Fraser before Fabian Barthez arrived and effectively ended Bosnich's Man United career. Gabriel Obertan. Gabriel Obertan was signed as Cristiano Ronaldo's replacement. Yeah. Think about that. Obertan himself thought it was a joke. Bordeaux manager Laurent Blanc was perplexed, and so, in time, were the Manchester United fans. He must overcome psychological and mental challenges so he can express his true value, is what Blanc had to say on the transfer. Whatever those challenges were, it doesn't feel like Obertan managed to beat them. He was very quick, Obertan, to be fair, but pace is about all he managed to show during his time in England. After joining Alan Pardew's French Revolution at Newcastle United, the winger. Manchester United is a massive club, that's just a fact. Yes, by their own high standards, it's not been great lately. They are the current FA Cup champions, and they won the League Cup in the previous season, but the Red Devils haven't won the Premier League in 11 years. Many young footballers, especially those from countries with comparatively weak domestic leagues, grow up dreaming of playing for a foreign club. Often, that club is Real Madrid or Barcelona, but plenty of young ballers still dream of playing for Manchester United. Not all dreams are happy, though. We're taking a look at 5 ballers who earned a life-changing move to Old Trafford, but quickly ended up in footballing purgatory. Donny van de Beek. The young Dutchman was an integral part of Ajax's generational team that performed so brilliantly in the Champions League under Erik ten Hag. Inevitably, Ajax's squad was scavenged and picked apart by wealthy clubs, and Frenkie de Jong's midfield partner eventually found himself signing for the mighty Manchester United.